Okay, let's do this video for Nukesy here. What am I on? Okay, my boss deck. So everybody's weapons are going to be the same through all this. I don't change the weapons from one deck to another. So here's Kinsey, loaded up with good hero damage and some boss damage. She's my only one that uses this ability. Um, so the lightning hits regardless of the element your character has, and it hits every enemy that the attack hits. So it's good for AoEs like the Fire Wizard spell, or I use her because her attack runs through and hits everybody. So that's an additional attack from the lightning with her. She can use that on anybody with AoE, but I wouldn't recommend it over Ice Bomb 99% of the time. Her armor isn't that good. She just got some victory gold and boss damage. She's not a particularly well built because she doesn't have that many extra stats that you can roll easily without needing a Philosopher's Stone. So here's my Ice Bombs, got lightning damage, hero, summon unit damage, and hero damage. Same thing with his armor, boss damage and lightning damage because this is a boss. Um, the Philosopher's Stone, I would change victory experience to either lightning or boss damage. My Lancer, here's one of my heroes getting 20% damage. And you can see he's got a good one: summon unit damage, poison damage, boss damage, all stats he can use. And all this is just to tank up the summons, unit health, unit defense, unit damage. It's just so they can soak up some damage and be a meat shield. Let's skip over one and go over to my Arcane Knight and see that he also has 20% on either side. This isn't that good. Arcane damage, attack speed, stun chance, they kind of suck, but I'll tinker on that later. But his armor makes the summons a little bit tankier. So you were asking if this stacks. It does. We can go here and look at Centaur. It's 41,883. This is his weapon. I like him having the one additional projectile for the damage. Hero damage, boss damage, crit damage. Because he has 41,000, almost 42, but he does 1,400% with each arrow. And then he's got some boss damage and crit damage. And you really don't want victory gold on any of these armors in the end game. With enough Philosopher Stones, like he would be all boss damage, boss damage, boss damage, crit damage, boss damage. Maybe even 4 boss damages even. Okay, but you were asking if it's stacked. So we can see here it's 41,883. We can go here, remove Arcane Knight, and he goes down to 38,880. We can remove Poison Lancer, and he should drop down to like 35-ish. 35,878. And you can see by adding them back that it does stack um, both of them. So I got one going to Baby Gold and one going to Centaur in this lineup. 38,880. So I had my Arcane back. There it is. And this could be anything. I chose Arcane simply because it gives me a ranged attack, which helps kill out the flying guys, and it's 6 knights. That's a lot of knights out there that's helping to damage the flying dudes that not very many people can hit. The archers can hit. One of my golems hits the ranged people or the flying guys, but not very many people overall can hit the flying guys reliably. Cloud Rider. Hero damage, crit chance, hero damage. The only reason I have his explode and poison AoE on death, he's the only person with this one, is because he does so much damage and kills so many people that I put that on there just to add damage to the remaining people that are still alive. That she's locked. 27.5 days. We go down here to the bottom. He's got a good staff, hero damage, boss damage, fire damage with a sapphire golem. This is my first of my golem summons. This weapon is on him in every deck. He's got decent armor. I would probably change this victory experience to a fire damage with a philosopher's stone to make it better, but that would max it out where you could use it with every deck with your gold deck. This weapon's good for every deck, it doesn't matter. So you want some stuff that's going to bleed over deck to deck. We'll come back to Dark Ranger in a minute. Here's my Drow Archmage. She is also summoning a golem, and she has arcane damage, hero damage, and I got cooldown on her because I want her to go in as often as possible. With a Philosopher's Stone, I would change his hero damage to an arcane damage just to get 10% more damage. This can't get much better. I would probably do like maybe a boss damage, but I doubt. I probably would just put another arcane damage right here while keeping that hero cooldown. Replace victory experience with arcane damage. It's probably what I would do with a Philosopher's Stone. But she's there to slow enemies down, and I know some people like the Time Warlock, which is fine because it stops enemies for 5 seconds. Everything else here is the same. But I like having them slowed and then taking extra damage during that time, which couples with the frozen tear. So they take damage when slow, they take 30% more from her, and then they take 30% more from frozen tear, which stacks on top of it. But either one's fine, but a lot of people do like Time Warlock. Rotzaki or whatever, I know he prefers the Time Warlock, but either one's great. Black Wizard, he's got the ice bombs. He is just here for the 50% boss damage or 100% boss damage increase. So monsters take 100% damage for 6 seconds. That's all he's in here for. Green Wizard, he has this. This is his all-time weapon for every deck: lightning damage, boss damage. He is one of the few that I have life steal on. Life steal with him is really good because he does 20 thunderbolts at 400% damage, which is 280,000. Yeah, 280,000 damage with 20 times 280,000 damage. So that really can add a lot of life back to you. But he's the only one I would recommend, even though you're going to see my blue wizard also has a life steal in this deck. But that's only because my boss and hell mode decks, my blue wizard is summoning my ruby golem. But it's got cold damage and life steal. I would change these two to cold damage, fire damage, and life steal. I would change those to cold damage with a Philosopher's Stone. The first one I would change to be cold damage. I mean, fire damage to cold damage, obviously. And then this would be a real good staff, but he's not really good to use life steal on. It's just a staff that I happen to have. He does have a good armor though, 2 cold damage, a hero cooldown, and a mana cost. So cooldown to use him quicker, and mana cost so I can use him more. He does get pretty expensive. But he's your crowd control. If you start to get too many on the screen, you use Blue Wizard, let him freeze everybody, and uh, slow him down and give you time to kill him. But he is him and my Drow Archmage are my time control. And then we got Dark Ranger, who's just here for a mana boost. Got hero damage and a little bit of attack speed. I would change this attack speed to a hero damage with a Philosopher's Stone. And then not much here, some boss damage because it's on a boss. So this is one of my last pieces I'm changing over to legendary. As a matter of fact, let me level this up. I'm trying to get rid of all my epic and get down to my legendary. These are all on characters I don't really use except for that's on the boss and that's on the boss. Okay, let's check out my hell mode, even though I don't play hell mode. Only time I do hell mode is somebody's needing something, but the weapons don't change. All the weapons are going to be the same. He don't have much boss damage. That's about all he has. He really needs some better armor, but again, I don't have Philosopher's Stones, and it's hard to roll good armor with just that. Um, yeah, that armor is going to be the same. His weapon would be the same. Baby Gold might have a little bit different. Not the same hammer. He does have different armor though for the hell mode. So he's got summon unit damage, health, and defense. So some of these I did change a little bit. But notice on the hell mode that I have Surfer and Kinsey on one side of my 20% guys, and I've got Baby Gold in the middle. Because that Gold Dragon, I could put Surfer in the middle. It would probably make more sense to have Surfer in the middle to jack up his damage, but either one of them is fine. Like, I might change out Surfer later and put him in there, but they're going to work fine. Kenzie's over here. Not much has changed with her from boss to hell mode. So he's got a little bit different armor, boss damage, crit damage, hero damage. So this is what Centaur is wearing in the boss damage deck. She's the same. See, nothing's changed right here. Blue Wizard, he might have changed a little bit. His weapon stayed the same. No, same armor. So there's not much difference in the hell mode and boss mode except for I removed Centaur for Swamp King because Swamp King has slow and does additional damage on top of it. Got 2 hero damage and a hero cooldown so that I can use that more. And he's one of the few. I would really like to have that as an ice bomb, but I don't use him too often, so I'm kind of slacking on the weapon. But with a Philosopher's Stone, I would change that to ice bomb. I said these decks don't get used a lot, and I would trade it out Black Arch Wizard for Astral Cat. 1100% damage on almost 100,000 says enough. Plus, it gives me more mana points. But he's got the Emerald Golem, but arcane damage, hero damage. I would trade that hero damage for arcane damage with the Philosopher's Stone. And this, I'm perfectly happy with this. 2 arcane damage, a boss damage, and a hero cooldown. That doesn't need to be touched at all. Like, it's fine. I mean, it could be tweaked, but I'm not going to tweak it. I like it. And let's see, let's look at the trinkets. My hell mode trinkets are the ice arrow for slow, because we want to slow everybody down. That's the whole idea. Like mob control with hell mode. And which means you could trade out some of these guys right here for if you don't like the wizards, you could put in Naga, or is it Yeti Elder, Poseidon. I don't have it on Naga. They do a slow. You could do Infernal Blacksmith because he knocks them back. You could use a couple of those in spots of the wizard if you want to do a different type of crowd control. I just use um, Drow Archmage and Blue Wizard for crowd control, and then Fire Wizard, if they get too much, he can burn up a big group. And then Lightning is there for my health steal, and then Astral Cat's more crowd control. And then I'm letting Swamp King keep them in slow up there instead of using Poseidon or the Yeti. Anyway, the Pearl of Power, more damage. I use these because I use golems to summon damage construct. Uh, some people don't like this because they think there's a better use. They think the golems kind of suck in hell mode, but that's probably because they're not leveling the archers enough. But it compounds. If you didn't want to use that, there's other stuff you can use, but nothing is going to help me get the damage extra besides that in this deck. Which I'll show you my boss deck and how it's different. I got Unity, which is in both decks, the boss and hell mode. You can read all that stuff. So, and here's my baby, the Frozen Tear. Slowed monsters take 30% additional damage, which is why I've got the Drow Archmage for slow, and I've got Swamp King for slow to give me some of that, and then the Blue Wizard. So all three of them slow down my characters on top of my Frost Tower and on top of my IF generator. They also slow enemies too, and all that compounds damage. So, on my boss deck, the trinkets are a little bit different. I know it's not much, but enough. I put this in because I don't really need to slow anybody down in mid-og. I just need to go maximum damage for my archers and the critical damage and 10% chance for everybody. And it also, the golem damage is attached to your archer damage, which matters more for me in boss battles because my archers are higher than most everything else. The same Pearl of Power, the same Unity, the same Frozen Tear because I'm still taking advantage of the slow damage. And then I added this for the tower damage because I do have all my towers maxed out except these back two. In town, the boss and hell mode are all the same. Hero cooldowns minus 20%, hero damage 30%, archer damage is up, and mana regen. So that doesn't change. And now this is the deck that's on it 99% of the time. Though this is, this is the one that you will see me playing on almost all the time. Kinsey, which hasn't changed. But in this deck, you're going to see this is all about gold. Everybody's going to have 2 armors. I'm going to have an armor with 2 plus victory gold at 10%. That's as high as you can go. That's what you need. Everybody's armor's changed. Victory gold, victory gold. That's the main point. That's the only point of this deck is have at least 2 victory gold. You can use Philosopher's Stones to get more gold, but I would use the Philosopher's Stones on everything else besides this. As long as you got two, you're doing fine. See, health damage for 2 victory gold. The weapons stay the same. His armor's changed, 2 victory gold. Summon unit damage and arcane. My surfer guy right here, gold, victory gold, victory gold. Dark Ranger is now up here, victory gold, victory gold. Cat, his armor is also changed. Victory gold, victory gold. See, there's a weapon. So there's one of my golems in my gold deck. We got my blue wizard, who is not one of them, I don't think. See, victory gold, victory gold. I would change this into a cold damage from critical damage, but again, so here's my ice bombs, 2 cold damage and a hero damage. And here's the rest of my golem summoners. Same one, sapphire. There's my 2 victory gold. I would change that hero damage to a fire damage. Check out his armor change, 2 victory golds. I would change that victory experience to a lightning damage. See, same weapon. He's got the amethyst golem that he summons. Victory gold, victory gold. I did a hero cooldown and mana cost over arcane damage. But she's still got arcane, hero cooldown, and hero damage here. But she's got a topaz golem. And then finally alchemist. So alchemist doesn't actually attack. So they cannot use the ice bombs. If you put the ice bomb staff on here, they will not use it. They will not send ice bombs to attack. But there you go. She summons, or he, or whatever it is, summons the ruby golem. We had 2 victory gold, and he's on here because he gives a bonus gold of 35%. You want your gilded tent because you get bonus gold of 35%. Your trinkets are going to be the golden gun, wealth contract, sack of gold, worn coin, and I have on gladiator's coin, which reduces my auto battle cost by 10%, which is saving me about 10 million a battle right now. Normally it's, well, I'll show you here in a minute how much it costs. It's like 90 million an auto battle right now. Without this, it would be right at 100 million, so about 10 million it's saving me. I would use command helm up until this 15% was doing less than the gladiator's coin is taken off. Because the command helm's going to add quite a bit to your colony income. You'll be like 1.8 million like every minute or something like that. So, but once you get to the gladiator's coin is knocking off $2 million roughly. Once you get to saving about $2 million a battle with auto, I would swap those out. But these are your main ones: sack of gold, worn coin, wealth contract. I would have those three without a shadow of a doubt, and then your golden gun artifact. Down here, not much has changed, but there's some differences. Market's got the bonus gold, and then we got bonus experience. But that's it for the decks. That's all three of my decks, all the armor stuff. The only thing I swap out here in the gold, I've got the gilded tent and the tree of experience, or tree of giving, that gives experience. When I go into the hell mode or boss, I just pull those two out and put in cannon and the repeater. So which one am I not using? So barracks. I'm not using barracks right here. I got the repeater in boss mode. I bet I got barracks in my hell mode. Yeah, I traded in my repeater for the barracks to give me a little bit more of a meat shield. But they say hell mode and my hell mode and boss decks are nearly identical. There's very small differences between them. And then my gold deck is not too much. See, Elias came up and passed me while I've been bullshitting today. I have to go back and pass him. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna stop this video and then I'll do another one with some damage stats with some characters. If there's any characters that you want to see, in particular, like the numbers on. Well, actually, I'll just ask you here in chat, and I'll find out which ones you want to see numbers on in a group, and then I'll record a couple videos of that. But this one's done. If you got any other questions, just let me know.